A vampiric monster or simply a dog with mange? What exactly have people across the world been seeing for decades? Sit back and enjoy this week's episode of Mystery Files Debrief. I'm Ryan, and that over there is Shane.
That's right, and each week here on Mystery Files Debrief, we'll be digging into these weird, wild cases, going behind the scenes, answering your questions, and maybe even talking about your theories.
And this week's case is the long-awaited Chupacabra.
This was really fun. I like talking about cryptids.
Yeah?
I do.
I love talking about cryptids.
They're fun, even if I don't believe in them.
I think they're funny guys.
And even if I don't believe in a certain cryptid. I obviously do believe in some cryptids, though I think they're long shots. It's fun to believe in them because I don't think it is as insulting to science as ghosts are.
I resent that.
That's okay. That's okay. We're. Oh wait, actually we're not cool here. I was gonna say this is a safe space. It's not. We're not friends.
Why is that?
That happened last week on Debrief. We ended our friendship.
I forgot about that.
It's good to see you to some degree because we have to because it's our job. But
hey, look, I'm still your friend, man.
Strictly professional. So it is a safe space in that sense.
You're gonna be my friend whether you like it or not.
Well, I don't like it. So this is a one-way street, buddy. Don't touch my fucking shoes or I'll pop you.
With what?
Do you have I was gonna say, do you have a favorite cryptid? But we ranked them in the previous episode of Top 5 Beatdown.
Well, I just realized Chupacabra is the only cryptid that's a serial killer.
Because Mothman, he's a terrorist.
He doesn't kill anybody, though.
Mothman didn't do 9/11.
No, Mothman did not do 9/11.
Well, certainly there's a lot to get into. And actually, I think it's about time we get into the theories because people sent in some very interesting ones. Quick refresher, where do you fall on old Chups?
Who did all these killings?
What do you think it is?
I think there was a real Chupacabra over in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And then I think there was a copycat. People that were doing it somewhere, they were trying to mimic it. The ones in Puerto Rico, those seem pretty legit, in my opinion, before the media sensation.
Any humans ever get attacked by one?
No, there was that one report of I forget, it was like a husband and wife, and like the husband apparently fought the Chupacabra in the garage, as cryptids do.
I think it's dogs and a bunch of unrelated other things. I don't know. I just don't trust anything that anybody says.
But the teeth, though,
anymore.
the teeth, perfect puncture wounds, blood out.
Whatever.
It's pretty crazy. Mistake. But how do you...
You're saying I'm a mistake as a human being?
That, but also like what you just said was a mistake. Both of them. I didn't mean the first part, but then you reminded me of it, and I was like, you're right.
This is how a friend shouldn't talk to a friend, so this makes sense.
Do you not think it's a little weird that there were synchronized sightings across the globe?
No, I don't.
I actually, as I said before, though, I will say, I think that plays into the copycat theory. I think there was an original rash of killings, and then people were like, that looks fun.
Yeah,
I want to be on the news.
It's probably really easy to fake, these kind of things, especially back in the day when...
This is pre-YouTube. You can't get out there.
Pre-Tube.
Pre-Twitter.
What would we have done?
Well, I mean, I don't know. We would have to...
Do you think...
If we didn't have YouTube...
What would we have done?
We would have killed a bunch of livestock to get on the news.
Probably. You and I would be out there sucking goats.
Cool. Let's get into the audience theories. How about that?
Yes. Jessica Montague. I'm surprised none of the theories were just people. Not for the visual of the Chupacabra, that would be a dog, but that at least maybe the first cases of draining animals in Puerto Rico might have just been some dude. The Vampire of Sacramento killer was active in the same era, so it's not that unheard of.
I haven't heard of the Vampire of Sacramento, but that's also, I'm just not up on my Sacramento
Vampire
lore.
du Sac?
That's pretty good, I like that.
Sacksucker?
Sacksucker?
That's probably better, right? What do you think of that? Do you think it's a person? I think it's a person in the sense that I do think some of the people were just sort of making it up and being like, yeah, my goats, they've been sucked.
Yeah, but if it was a person, let's walk through that logically. How would that happen without any blood around the body? Because none of the bodies had a pool of blood around them. Pretty clean.
Yeah, but...
Sucked dry.
Number one, a tarp. Okay?
Yeah, 50?
You need two things. You need a tarp.
You're gonna wrangle 50 goats and kill all of them on a tarp neatly?
I don't know what I don't know what goat farmers
I'd like to
are
see
up
you try.
They're farming goats.
Even you, okay, let's put it through.
Guess what? If you're a goat farmer and you kill all your goats, you got plenty of time.
Why would you kill all your goats?
Because you're spending your whole time taking care of all your goats. So if you want to go on the news and your plan is, well, I got to kill my goats. Well, great. You don't have to worry about spending time taking care of your goats. Suddenly you've got all the time in the world because you could just kill goats for a living.
A goat farmer whose business is a farmer of goats is going to kill all their goats because they can, and then they do what?
Tell the news, write a book,
Even if you and I put a straw in each hole, we'd probably only be able to take down one goat tops. I doubt it.
No.
We're sitting there sucking on that thing.
Here's what I'm saying.
It depends how big the straw is.
So this week I was testing out one. You have those blow.
Oh, what you get like a giant Capri Sun that was the size of a goat? You suck that down.
Shush.
This is gonna be good.
I was blowing up an air mattress.
Okay.
And now they got those little fans you put on them, right?
Yeah, like yeah.
But then it's also got the reverse.
Yeah.
And it crumples down.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
All right, let's go to the next theory. James Lynchahan, and I remember you. James, you sent some great evidence for the first episode of Ghost Files. Do you think there is a possibility the Chupacabra livestock killings could be related to cattle mutilation, usually ascribed to aliens? Maybe the Chupacabra is some alien pet that escaped the UFO.
Now that I like.
That got actually crazier as I started to read it.
I like that a lot.
You like that?
I like that. That's fun. I don't necessarily say that I buy that, but remember Prometheus?
Yeah.
From The Twisted Mind of Ridley Scott, where he said, oh, it's not an alien movie. But then they land, oh, maybe it was the second one. They get on the planet and there are like little alien dogs that are kind of like chupacabras and they attack them. And Rooney Mara, I think, is there and she's like, oh no. And Amy Simons is there. Danny McBride is there. And the alien dogs are there as well.
Sure, yeah,
And they chase them in the field, and I think they shoot them in the head and stuff. Did anybody ever shoot a chupacabra in the head?
No, they hit them with cars, though.
That's
the only way you can kill a chupacabra.
I want to know your thoughts on this.
By hitting it with a Buick.
That's really good. It's effective.
It's fucking hilarious.
Some good theories. Now it's time to move on to...
Questions.
No.
Questions.
That's not it.
It's questions. Qua. We're talking about Qua, right?
We're talking about Qua.
It's a Q&A. We're bringing it back.
I did see
Qua.
in the recent debriefs, people were like, how come no Qua? It's time for Qua.
Qua.
Qua. Qua.
Today we have a special guest joining us. You might know her. Please welcome Mystery Files producer,
Brittney Lee. Let's get some claps out there.
Thank you. Hello.
That's how Shane addresses the audience at all our live shows.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks.
Thank you for all your wonderful work on this show.
Yeah, of course.
How are you feeling at this point of the process? Like, where are we at right now?
So where are we at? We just released episode 3, right?
That's correct.
So Chupacabra, and we're just finalizing some post things, so editing things for the last episode. And that'll be it for season 1.
Okay, all right, well, let's answer the first half of these questions together.
But let's make sure it's only half. And then, Brittney, you've got to leave.
That's true.
All right.
Do you hear me?
Cool.
If he doesn't get his quota, it gets rough.
I don't like sharing the spotlight for too long.
He doesn't, and that's why we're not friends anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly why. Our first question, which Mystery Files episode was your favorite to make?
It's all like smushed together.
I was going to say, it must be kind of a blur.
Yeah.
Because we shot these all in a matter of days.
Just 3 days.
3 days.
Yeah,
That's right.
just 3 days. I will say, I have a couple. This one, Chupacabra, was actually one of my favorites because this was the first episode that we shot for the season.
It was.
So it was very chaotic. We had a lot of things to hash through, but the struggle of it was what made it memorable in a good way.
It was fun because I think when we all started shooting it at the top, we were like, well, let's see how this goes. And then as the episode went on, we were like, having fun.
Yep.
Having fun.
Yeah, which leads to my second favorite episode, which is Max Headroom, because by that episode, we've kind of like worked out all the kinks of it, and then it was just fun.
And that's the season finale, too, so you'll have to wait to see that one.
You will.
You got to tune in till then.
I guess you'll have to keep watching our show.
Anyways, let's go to the next question. What does a typical workday look like when producing an episode of Mystery Files? Also, we must know, where do you fall on the Shaniac-Bergara spectrum?
Let me answer that one first. Actually, do you guys want to take a guess? I feel like you already know.
I think you are a Shaniac.
I think you lean Shaniac mostly. Or are you fully?
Yes, I am fully
You're
a
fully.
Shaniac.
Yeah, because I was going to say, on all the locations we've been at, you don't tend to give a shit about walking into dark spaces.
So I've been on a couple of Ghost Files locations, and like I don't believe in ghosts, but like the darkness, like just
do
the
believe in
unknown,
darkness.
it's scary.
Yeah.
But why is it scary if there's, what is it?
I mean, it could be a person popping out, and that
A
could scare
rabid
you.
possum.
A rabid possum?
Yes, that's scary. Actually, before anybody gets at me, possums cannot carry rabies.
Well, glad you cleared that up. Let's go back to that first part of that question after that
Yeah.
very interesting detour.
Okay, so what does a typical day producing an episode of Mystery Files look like? Well, I first go to Google Drive and I open my big folder that contains all the secrets of the show.
That's the name of the folder. It says Brittney's big folder that contains all the secrets of the show.
Brittney's big folder.
I should actually name it that.
Her desktop is one giant icon.
Yeah.
It's a huge
No, this
folder
is a
icon.
manual folder. This folder is
Right.
huge. It's the
Yeah.
size of both these chairs put
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, imagine me just carrying that.
And Brittany's just like jumping in between the pages.
Whoa! This is a big one.
That sounds fun.
That does sound fun.
Yeah. So producing, I just have to make sure everything that's involved in the show is up to date, is kept track of. A lot of scripts and research and just the structure of the episode. A lot of the elements that go into it. Just have to know it all and then make sure it happens.
So here's an off-the-cuff question. Carter got cut out of this episode, right? Chupacabra?
Yes.
And I believe you were the one who axed him. What about his performance wasn't up to par?
Oh.
Wait, can we show?
It's coming back
the deleted
now.
scene?
Okay, yeah, I think so. I think
Okay,
it's fine.
roll it.
Okay, let's get Carter out here then.
Carter, did you have earmuffs on the whole time?
Yeah, kind of
Good job.
cut my ears a little bit.
Okay, now do 10 push-ups.
What is going on here?
I'm getting his heart rate up.
Okay.
This will come in later. Okay.
Easy money.
All right.
Get up?
Oh, you can get up. Stand up. Ready? 1, 2, 3. What is this?
Cat?
This next question well, Brittney, why don't you read it? It says your name. It's
Okay.
directed right to you.
Cool. So it says, what were your favorite BTS moments while making Mystery Files? When Ryan has a script to read, sometimes he gets stuck on certain
brain-
phrases.
Oh, yeah. This happens a lot.
He gets
Yeah.
the yips. He'll
There's
stumble over a phrase once, and then
I
it'll
can't
take
say-
him 60 times
Yeah,
to say it
and
correctly.
it's not even a phrase, it's a word usually.
Yeah.
There's usually one word that's the landmine
Yeah.
in the copy, and it's something like totally innocuous. And it could be something I say all the time, but once I slip over it once, now we're off to the races. It isn't just a story about the police from Monroe investigating a guy from It isn't just a story about the police from Monroe investigating a guy. Fuck. All right, go back up.
Then it's like a roller coaster because you're like, okay, that's fine, right? It could take a couple tries for him to do that word. It's okay. And then it gets to like 5 times, and I'm like, all right, Ryan, let's get it done. And then it's like, oh my gosh, he's still not getting it, and it becomes hilarious.
Yeah.
And then if he still doesn't get it, then it's like, all right, man.
Now,
Come on.
you go through the different phases, like, he's got to get this. All right, now this is kind of getting funny.
Yeah.
Seriously, though, get this. And then you can keep pushing it until, and then, it's 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And everyone's left, and I'm just doing, it's just me and Carter.
And it's funny because every time you mess up, you usually go like,
yeah, I'll make some, or I'll say like, sometimes it'll be like, if the sentence is like, and then the person said, motherfucker.
oh my God.
Yeah, I turn into Chris Walken. Oh my God.
Well, Brittney, thank you for joining us. That is exactly half of our questions. Thank you for
That's right.
pulling together this incredible show with Annie. You guys killed it. Everyone is overjoyed. Would not be here without you guys, obviously.
I mean, y'all too, obviously.
We barely did.
We just showed up.
We did.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Brittney. Bye-bye. Yes, let's clap, everybody! For Debrief, which cryptid would you like to hang out with more? The Chupacabra, the Mothman, or the Flatwoods Monster? Now, I'm not familiar with the Flatwoods Monster, but Brittney off-screen is showing us what appears to be A sentient raspberry
Yeah.
wearing a hula skirt.
Well, it looks more to me like a radish
A
lady.
little bit.
I'm gonna go with Mothman without even looking at Flatwood Monster.
Well, because you could just hop on Mothman's
you could
back.
hop on and you could put your feet
Probably
on
sings
those.
a whole new world while you fly.
That's true, and you could put your feet in those stirrups, also known as his very sculpted ass cheeks, and fly around the city.
Imagine my feet on the ass. And
I mean,
don't
they look pretty solid footholds.
He's got good hips.
Nice.
What do we got there? Humanoid, yeah.
Yes, after a bright object crossed the night sky, I guess it's just like a bright light that crossed the night sky, and then people thought it was.
Sounds like a bad hang. That's a bad hang.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
Tough
lame.
hanging.
Yeah, you're like, hey, you want to go to Sonic Drive-In together? And then it's just a bright light. It's like, no.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to go
don't-
get some tater tots.
I don't think it's nearly as bad of a hang as Chupacabra. Chupacabra, even if he's
Chupacabra's gonna suck your blood out.
well, even if it's
If
not,
you're into that thing,
even if
you're
it's
gonna love
not,
it,
well,
but-
yeah, that's true. Some people what might be. Even if he doesn't suck your blood out, he might suck out the blood of your dog.
Yeah.
Like imagine being like,
my kitty cat?
well, yeah, imagine being at your place,
Obi?
and you're playing, PS5 with the Chupacabra, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna go to the bathroom really quick, and you're playing, and you're like, God, he's been gone for a long time.
And I'm like, where's my precious Obi?
And you're like, hey, you okay in there? Is something wrong with the flusher? And he's like, give me a sec. And then you're like, I need to go see what's going on. You open the door, and there he is, sucking the shit out of your cat. And your cat, just looks like a raisin.
No!
Just like,
Not my boy.
yeah, like remember in the Mummy when Imhotep would suck the life out of people? That's what your cat would look like.
I wouldn't like that one bit.
I'd pay to
So
see
I'm hanging out with Mothman. Mothman is on my list.
Mothman's gonna get you horizontal one way or another, either on the bed or in the air.
Well, that's the thing too. You could be like, I want to go to the mall, and Mothman would be like, and you hop on his back.
He'd be like,
he
all right.
takes you to the mall.
And you're like,
You
yeah,
could
I
get
want to go
some,
to Foot Locker too.
Photos taken together. Foot Locker.
Go to Auntie Anne's, get a pretzel.
All right, next question, Ryan. What do you got?
Hannah Yorkston dives. Q for debrief. What level of evidence do you need to consider a case solved? It seems like Shane is more of a on the balance of probabilities guy, whereas Ryan needs it to be beyond any reasonable doubt. That is correct. I do. No, it's correct. I do go by that.
What are you talking
Hey man,
about?
I don't make the rules, okay?
This is the guy who goes to a house and hears a coconut on the roof and goes, the dead live.
Oh, okay. There's never been a house where there's been coconuts
Every
falling
place
on.
we've gone to, there's coconuts
That's
falling on
not
the
true.
roof.
That doesn't
all
even
the
make
time.
sense geographically. It doesn't make any sense.
This guy doesn't need any proof whatsoever.
I've caught things moving in front of us on camera, and I feel like that's
He sees
beyond
an
reasonable
orb,
doubt.
and he's like,
beyond
it's the
reasonable
devil.
doubt.
The devil's here. Call my mommy. This next question is from Klaus the Dino. If you were a cryptid, what do you think people would call you? The Noodle Man.
Yeah, I think the Noodle Man.
The Noodle
And
Man.
they'd call me Noodle Boy.
You're Noodle Boy?
Yeah,
I
we-
think you'd be Beef Boy.
We've settled on Noodle Boy and
Yeah, but
Noodle
you're a
Man.
beef guy.
What would I actually be called?
What's that game? Super Meat Boy? That's like what you are. You're like the little meat cube. Because you slam that muscle tech.
Or the Burgoose.
Or the Bagoos.
Burgoose or the Bergiever.
The Bergiever.
It's kind of like a beaver and a human.
You are like a beaver, according to your wife.
That's true. She does call me a beaver all the time.
Yeah.
And I take it as a compliment because I'm good at organization.
Noodle
At
Man and the Beef.
Hannah Sadala for debrief. If this was some sort of undiscovered species, wouldn't attacks like the one in Puerto Rico be more common? Or is there just one lone Chupacabra? I've often wondered this about many cryptids.
It would be more common.
Are they a species or is it just one singular thing? And I do believe it's just one singular thing.
Well, that's not really possible.
That's what it is possible when you think about what I was saying earlier. Puerto Rico,
Right.
the region. I think those were real, and then most of the other ones were like in fucking Florida or like.
But it would essentially have to be the last of its species
yeah, I think so.
in every case, is what you're saying.
Because I don't think there's a clan of Big Feet. I think he's one person.
One guy. But then
I think
he
she's
would have had to come from a long lineage with big feet.
Or
Which is why it's probably, most
or it
of
was
these
like some sort of anomaly, like some sort of like birth anomaly.
I don't know.
And then
I mean,
and now she's just out there. Like,
I guess every now and then I do see a black squirrel. Isn't that fun to see? We see a black squirrel?
no,
What do you mean, no?
I haven't seen it.
You've never seen one?
No, you just said it was an anomaly, so like you shouldn't be
I mean,
surprised
but
that
in
I
my
haven't
life
seen
I've
it.
probably seen a dozen of them.
That's not an anomaly then. Do you know what an anomaly?
Well, an anomaly isn't one single thing.
No, but it's
just
uncommon.
a very
it's
rare.
I think 12 times is a lot of times. I haven't seen a manatee more than 5 times probably.
For Debrief, what do you guys think about the original descriptions of the Chupacabra having long feather-like spines protruding from their back? I'd be very interested to hear what Shane thinks these could be, as such an appendage isn't a component of a canine with mange.
This fucking question wording is amazing.
I don't know. Probably they just didn't see what they think they saw.
That's a
So
classic.
that's what you'd be interested to hear?
Well, yeah, that's
Common sense?
well, I mean,
I'm being a bit combative.
it's not common sense to see something and then if you can't explain it, it doesn't mean therefore it didn't exist.
But like they ain't never caught one of these things. How? By the way, put a bunch of goats out. We're getting testy today, huh?
You're getting tested.
Put a bunch of fucking goats out, right? And it's not hard to put a cage up. The Looney Tunes do it all the time. You get a cage, you get some sort of trap, it slams down. They can catch anything in this world. They can catch monkeys.
Yeah, but you don't buy...
Monkeys and apes are swinging from trees with their very strong arms.
Yeah, but you don't ever buy eyewitness testimony. This is consistent back to even Unsolved. I remember there was an episode of Unsolved where it was a Brooklyn abduction in the middle of the city.
Yeah.
And like 100 people saw it. And you still were like, they didn't see that.
I don't know, man.
That's crazy. That's a crazy thing to say.
Yeah. Crazier things have happened, though. Yeah. Catch one. That's all I'm saying. Catch one. Put it in a zoo. Let me go throw peanuts at it.
Well, that does it for this episode of Mystery Files Debrief. Thank you guys for watching the Chupacabra episode. And
hey, listen, tune in Friday for the tale of the enigmatic Leatherman.
there's going to be some fun stuff in that one.
Yeah. And in fact, if you want to see that episode a week early, it's going to be on Patreon.
Yeah, you get to see
A week early.
You get to see Shane coated in sweat.
Yeah, patreon.com/watcher, me head to toe in leather, sweating profusely.
Yeah,
I think that was the first episode that I did, and I was like, this show is going to be difficult. But it's because I was wearing leather.
I have a picture of him in some serious pain. It's very funny.
Yeah.
And for a chance to be featured on next week's debrief, be sure to leave your questions and theories in the comments or head on over to patreon.com/watcher to see the episodes, as he said, a whole week early and get an even better chance of being on this show and having your question picked.
That does it for this debrief. We'll see you guys next week. And actually, I think we've argued a lot here, but it's time to mend our friendship. So put her there.
Oh, we both did it!
Yeah! Okay, now we're actually...
Hold on, one second.
I was going to say now we're actually friends again, but then I was going to... You can't do that. That's it! I'm done! Good! I'm going to become a historical Leatherman reenactor after this.
Yeah, dude,
so I'm
I
just
mean-
practicing.
Yes, eat.
I think you got a career in it.